The Diary of a Certified Psychopath. 1st of December, 2021. Wuthering Nights. When all at once, upon winter's official arrival, not needing gloves felt like a luxury, a southwest tailwind warmer than -3 is a positive privilege, and a nocturnally illuminated playground entirely to myself could be considered an honour. And all this on top of a bike as comfy as the mattress I am about to collapse back onto. Counting life's little blessings is important amidst these otherwise dark and doleful hours. 2nd of December. Lights up, wind down. Back to the balaclava, puffer jacket and deep winter gloves for another serene hour of recuperative reality in the slumber zone. As close as I have ever come to emulating a Zwift Category D ride in real life, and gradually deducing which mini-loops work best, or rather, those where a seemingly endless variety of nippy north-northwesterlies nag you the least. No moon to enlighten my way, but Orion's familiar formation of blue and red supergiants gleaming resplendently within a cloudless sky. Rigel and Betelgeuse, yeah, it's Betelgeuse, perhaps a little too remote for their luminosity to serve as practically as that of a semi-charged Cat-Eye 800, as was the dim glow emanating across the horizon from Rampion's offshore wind farm. Far more ramblings about radiance than either temperature or wind in recent descriptions. Speaking of which, next stop, Neokio. A little later that day, muddled dates, crazy van drivers, crippling north wind, and thanks again Strava app for inexplicably auto-pausing between Shoreham and Hove and missing half of my outbound ride. I'd have been 10 kilometres ahead of my monthly real-life target were it not for your woeful incompetence. But upon reflection, should I blame you, or an overly sensitive haptic touch screen? 3rd of December. Non-virtually silent. Another attempt to realistically emulate a virtual Category C recovery ride, and in the process discover that science might well be correct in its claims that snow now adds a couple of degrees. Though these noxiously sleety flakes were far from the powdery consistency necessary to settle and gracefully complement a delicate dusting of Christmas decorations, and ultimately wet enough to have me angrily using at least 1/4 of a kitchen roll to towel off my steed once safely back in his stable. 4th of December. Midnight Mists. Non-virtual, antisocial, Category C slumber zone recovery ride number... lost count many moons ago. A wayward and whimsical wander through a windless wonderland. On a bike softer than a Simba mattress, no promotion, partially compromised by a Seafret's vampiric embrace. Not to mention weaving cabbies competing for Friday night fares, and their prospective clientele 3 Bacardis beyond Saturn thinking it funny to leap in front of your path and yell like banshees. The reciprocal squeal of my slightly moist disc brakes had a curiously sobering effect. Foregoing gloves and favouring the gilet over a jacket were both grave miscalculations. Arms chilled to the bone and hands a delicate shade of blue after only an hour. But whatever felt bad about this ride serves as motivation for the next, especially when one's priority is comfort. 5th of December. Midnight Mini-Loops. Yet another capricious northwesterly whose inherent and unforecast nip, unlike that of last midnight's frigid fret, failed to numb my arms and fingertips, but which seemed to veer south the very instant I'd established which of these homespun microcircuits most effectively evaded it, thereby providing a peaceful and practical basis for plain-clothed, semi-active zone sub-zero recovery. As the town church's bell tolled through whispering trees to signify my final lap, I concluded that while the first had a freer-flowing continuity, the second offered a smoother surface, prettier surroundings, and allowed for a fraction more freewheeling in the total absence of traffic. There were 3rd and 4th options, but by then I'd become too distracted to remember how to count to 10. 6th of December. A whole new ladder to climb, or just the same weathered relic flipped upside down? One giant rung that seems destined never to change throughout winter is Mother Nature's northerly blowhard, which at least remains somewhat less boisterous under sedation of darkness. In the interests of my persisting penchant to use off-season reality as an exclusive means to munch miles and mend muscles, this ride had no plan beyond the practical. Though a heavy-legged haul up Holmes Avenue, past West Blatchington's proudly preserved windmill, its static sails in silent repose against the starless sky, felt so much more fulfilling and recuperative than the hunched slog home along a coast with gloves that did the sweetest of nothing to suppress the sting. And if certain alleged round-the-clock establishments are to scupper my out-of-hours shopping trips by closing on a casual whim, then kindly consider my custom forever lost. On the related subject, I gather McDonald's drive-thrus refuse to serve pushbikers. Not that I would ever get that desperate. Somewhat later that day, I discovered that reality's path of least resistance resides firmly between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., with our fiend from the north resting in eerily silent contemplation of its next attack. Or perhaps patiently awaiting Mother Nature's green light, and before winter's witching hour frost has thickened the air with its insidious chill. Such unique and valuable wisdom could only come from the wiliest of furry friends.